Hi guys, good to have you guys once more on my channel. I'm Dr. Thompson, the instructor of the T-Square OET Academy. I've actually done a lot of videos on OET, and if you be having challenges in your OET writing, I simplified OET writing in my series of videos. So I will encourage you, I will recommend you watch those videos. After watching those videos, I can assure you, you will not spend up to 30 minutes in writing because I actually simplified that writing. Meanwhile, please subscribe to my channel, hit the subscribe button, and this will help you whenever I upload any video. You will be alerted. So, without wasting much time, the OET listening is actually a little bit tricky compared to other module. Because in OET listening, you're actually doing two things at the same time. You are reading, and at the same time, you are listening, as if they are assessing both skills. So, but for you to succeed and get good grades or good scores in OET listening, you actually have to master the art of listening. Now, let's even understand how the itself is. The OET listening has 42 questions, and for these 42 questions are divided into three parts. You have part A, part B, and part C. For the part A, you have 24 questions in part A. Part B, you have 6 questions, and in part C, you have 12 questions. For part A, that has 24 questions, it actually involves you filling in gaps. So you fill these gaps with nouns, adjective, and so on and so forth. As the tape is going, you are filling in the gaps. You are filling it what maybe a name of a drug, a name of somebody, or anything at all. But everything is still centered around the health sector. So you fill in this gap. I always tell my students that for you to pass OET listening, you have to pass part A. You have 24 questions, and these 24 questions are even easier to answer and to select. So if you can get 24 out of 24 in this part A, the remaining parts will be easier to just fetch. How many more questions do you need? Let's say like 6, because if you get a benchmark of 30 over 42, you are most likely to pass. Although that doesn't mean that you will pass, because they use this like a chart, or they draw curves and all that to determine those that will pass and those that will not pass. So in a particular year, maybe the pass mark for the benchmark of to pass is 29. Another year it might be 31 or 30. So it actually varies, but most likely when you have up to 30 over 42, you are most likely to pass the exam. So for the part B, you have a 6 short extracts, and these such extracts, for each you have 1 minute to answer each. They are a little bit tricky because there they also try to assess if you can decipher people's opinion. Maybe they will be like, they will ask, the question might want to assess from listening to this, to the speaker. Is the speaker happy? Is the speaker sad? What's the mood of the speaker? And all those type of questions. You can see as if you're a psychologist. So the questions are a little bit, but with practice you will be able to settle all that. Then for the part C, you have 2 extracts, and these 2 extracts, they are a kind of they come in form of seminars, podcasts, tutorials, and the rest. So somebody will be giving a pep talk, a head talk. It might be a seminar, so you just follow. The first extract you have 6 questions. The second extract we also have 6 questions, and that will be the end of the exam. So for you to do very well, you need to practice, and practice. But there are some tips that I think might help you to achieve that. Number one is for you to listen to resourceful materials. For those people that have written IELTS before, I think they stand a better chance because they're already used to the scenario and all that. But if you've not written any English exam before, you can also do it. So I would advise you get a lot of resourceful materials. Materials you can listen to BBC online. You can listen to the news on radios, televisions, any English talk at all. It can also be from movie. You watch movies without using subtitle in English movies. You also watch them. So all these things will help to tune your ears to listen because if you've not been listening to, you are used to your local dialects and the accents that you people use in your, maybe as in Nigeria, the way we speak here in Nigeria. If that's only what you listen to, when it comes to OET exam, you might find it difficult to understand maybe Australian accent or a British, and so you might find it difficult to understand both Australian accents and British accent. So I would advise you, don't just focus on only practicing the OET listening tapes and all. Also listen to all these varieties of useful resources, including TED Talk and a lot of podcasts in English language. So try as much as possible to, during this period of practice, maybe you are using 2 months, you are preparing for 3 months, to always, every day, if you can get an earpiece, just put in your ear and be listening to even music too. English music you listen to. So all these things will help to tune your ear to understand the accent and all that. So try as much as possible to listen to a lot of resourceful material. This will help. This will help to to sharpen your listening skills. Then, secondly, is time management in the exam. When the exam starts, usually when the exam starts, in between questions, there will be pauses, so you have time, maybe 15 seconds pause or thereabout. So let's say you are in question number one. Let's say in that part B now, where you have all those extracts in part B now. Maybe after first extract, there will be a pause. So that pause that you have is not the time that you will start revising, trying to cross check what you've done before to know if it is right or not. No, it's the time for you to read ahead the question that you have to answer next and understand what the questions what the question is talking about, and then the options that they give. Then try as much as possible to understand the the question and even before the reading starts. So you should be able to manage your time effectively. And why I'm saying this, because even after the exam, they will still give you 2 minutes to cross check your answer. So don't just try wasting your time trying to make sure that what you answered, you actually selected the right options, or what you fill in that gap is actually right. If you've actually passed that question, just forget about it and move on. At the end, you can come back to the question. So you try as much as possible to manage your time very well. And this time management also entails that when there is the intervals where you have pauses, you are not supposed to just allow that time to just go, or you start thinking another thing. No, just try as much as possible to read the next question and then get ready for the next exam, because anytime you miss, this is not like the when you are practicing. If you maybe make any mistake, you replay, try to understand and all that. In the OET, there won't be any time for you to replay or play back, as the tape, immediately the tape just starts playing, the tape is looking towards to the end of the exam. So there is no room. Oh, I didn't get this. Please, can you replay that part? Can you? No, no, no. You can't have that in the exam. So try as much as possible to manage your time effectively. Then thirdly, I will also advise you, don't worry too much on your grammar and the spellings. Some persons think this is IELTS, where even in your listening, you have to be accurate in your spellings and all that. No, If you hear something and you've written, sometimes you make mistakes. It's actually acceptable in OET. For example, let's say the option you are supposed to fill, especially I'm talking about in the filling the gaps, the option you are supposed to fill, you are supposed to fill something like writing in the option. While to spell writing, you have one T, but maybe you've written double T. They are not going to mark you down. Or you are supposed to use an article and you didn't add any article. Or you use the wrong article for maybe you're supposed to say a a scissors and you did not even add that article, or you're a pair of scissors and you didn't add that article, or anything at all that is not the major word that they are looking for. You made a mistake in that. They're not going to penalize you for that. Even if it is the major word, let's say the name of a drug and you spelt that drug, you didn't get it correctly. Let's say it's a drug like amitriptyline now. In amitriptyline, you have one Y. Occasionally, some people spell it AMY instead of AMI. So you can now see, with this type of mistake, you're not going to penalize. You got the answer and they're going to mark you correctly. So don't now use that because you are very sure that you are mistaken. This answer, you are not sure about it. Now you are not pinning yourself down and time is going. The next question, you are not planning for it. You are not preparing for it. You're already wasting your time. You will miss Definitely, you will miss out on the next question, and it will have a ripple effect on you, and the chain of reaction continues and will finally end in failure. So, as much as possible, if you think you make any mistake in your spelling or your grammar, leave it like that. Most times, they don't bother about your spell as long as they know that you actually heard that word very well. It's just that in your spelling that you made that mistake. They don't penalize you on that. So the next tip is work on your concentration. Now, this is actually the part that actually affected me for a very long time when I was during my IELTS preparation, even before I wrote my OET. Now, I would advise you on this. Some persons they have what we call short attention span. They cannot just focus, sit down and be listening to something for a very long time. Occasionally, your mind will wander. Occasionally, your mind will start thinking just in flips of second, and you will not come back. That flips of second would have made a lot of difference. So, and it will actually have impact on your score. So try as much as possible to work on your concentration. You are entering this hall. This is what I did. I will always have this in my mind that this exam, I'm not going to face it. I'm here for this exam. So try as much as possible to concentrate and let your mind just be only on what you are doing, and don't be thinking, oh, what if these results come out? Am I going to pass? Or you've made some mistake and you now start thinking or deliberating on those mistakes that you've made. Try as much as possible. During this your practice time, during this period you are still practicing, you'll be having all these things coming up. Try as much as possible to find a way to overcome them, to find a way to work on them, so that whether you are making mistakes or some people are moving around you or something just happened, that it will not take your attention from what you are listening to. So work on your or your attention span. It's actually very, very important. If you cannot concentrate for a very long time, you will not likely pass OET listening. So the next tip I'm going to talk about is don't look back while the train is still moving. So I've actually made mention of this earlier, but this particular point is actually very important. As long as the tape is still going on, don't go back. You are in number 5. Don't start going back to number 1, trying that you thinking that you will meet up, or you quickly answered number 5. You want to quickly go back to question number 1 and fill it before you continue with question number 6. You'll be disorganized in the exam hall. You will not even get it. You will just miss both sides. So any question that you think you've missed, leave it out and continue. When you are done with your exam, you never can tell. The answer might just flow in your thoughts. You might even guess and guess right. But what I would advise you, don't leave any stone unturned. Don't leave any option unanswered. So as much as possible, don't go back to any question that you've missed. Just continue moving until you get to your final bus stop. The sixth tip I'm still going to talk about is this skill of paraphrasing. You actually need that a lot in OET in OET listening, because as you're listening, sometimes the extract that you have and what the tape will be reading might not be exactly the same word. They might have used similar word. So you try as much as possible to know when the words are similar. Maybe they say on examination the man was pale, febrile, all those type of stuff. That what is written on the extract. But what you're listening to now say, Mr. Abel was noticed to be pale and has a fever of. So you should be able to know that was noticed is also similar is similar to or synonymous to on examination. You're able to know that fever and pyrexia they mean the same thing. So you should try as much as possible as you are practicing now to learn not to just focus strictly on the extract per se. Try to understand the extract first, what you are giving, so that when the tape is playing, you'll be able to know when they paraphrase, they've used similar word and they are still saying the same thing. At the end, the main thing is for you to still practice, practice, practice. As I told you guys in the reading video that I made, there is no amount of YouTube video that you watch that will make the difference. The only thing that can make the difference is for you to practice, practice, practice. Well, these are the few tips that I'll be able to give you. Others might have other tips to give and all that, but at the end, the best tip is this last tip of practicing, practicing, and practicing. Well, if you actually need me, you need my support, especially in writing and speaking, you can contact me on this email, and this is my number on Telegram. Please don't forget to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Bye.